Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to today's episode of the Diaspora Global Panel. We are reaching you live from Canada, Dublin, and the United States. Today, we want to talk about the destruction of 1 million doses of expired COVID-19 vaccine in Nigeria. But before I start, I would like to welcome our viewers to today's episode of the Diaspora Global Panel. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. Yeah, it was reported in the local and international news media that Nigeria destroyed 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine at some stage in December. That was so shocking for me because we all know that only 2% of the population in Nigeria, has received the COVID vaccine. So as a result, a lot of us were in shock as to how the government allowed this to happen. However, we realized that the government of Nigeria, is not solely to be blamed because, what happened was that before they received these COVID vaccines, AstraZeneca vaccine to be precise, the vaccine actually were ordered by these developing countries, by the developed countries. And when they were nearing their shelf life, they were shipped to Africa. So when Nigeria received this COVID vaccine, it was actually nearing the end of life. So as a result, dissemination of this vaccine became an issue. And unfortunately, some of these vaccines were burnt or destroyed because they were like expired. So we just want to, on today's episode, we want to delve into this issue because given the fact that only 2% of Nigeria's population has only received the COVID vaccine, it begs the question, could the government have done more to ensure these vaccines were distributed to Nigerians? So I'm going to start from you, Anthony Eze, because I know that you are in the medical field and you are an authority in that field. So I want to ask you, what is your take on this disturbing story? Mr. Anthony Eze from the United States.
Thank you, Dr. Kunle, for having me today. This is what we have been talking about as Nigerian system. Oftentimes, people import certain items, not just the vaccine. Nigeria and some African countries have become a dumping ground. And individuals that probably acting on behalf of the government, they knew what they were doing because the direction on the storage of vaccine is very, very clear. And depending on the route of transportation, those who really imported the vaccine, they know what they were doing. It's like, let us do a fast business. Whatever happens at the end, we don't care. Because it takes two to tango. It takes the exporters and importers to liaise to commit this kind of, I look at it as in the face of the shortages we have, doing that at this material time, every right-thinking person should condemn it. You just mentioned about only 2% of the large population of Nigeria being vaccinated. This is not the time for wastage. And definitely, we want to let the government go into what happened not just trashing this vaccine without finding out what happened, who did what, who to be blamed. If we can find what transpired, we'll be able to know how to handle subsequent importation. And even if you look at, there's a recent loan as confirmed by some news media in Nigeria, which the World Health Organization has released to Nigeria to make sure that they expedite action in providing enough vaccine for Nigerian populace. They need to come out to really tell the public what happened and to get effort making sure that we receive immediate compensation. If it's the fault of the exporters to Nigeria, we need to receive a supply to replace the expired one. If Nigerians, knowing fully well, imported expired vaccine to us, those people should be held accountable.
Actually, Mr. Tony, the vaccines were donated by the developed countries.
Oh, okay. Well, if that is the reason, that's okay. But at the same time, they should not use Nigeria as a dumping ground, because those who donated it, they are fully aware the life expectancy of each vaccine. And if they're going to send it far away to Africa, they should be sure that whatever they send it to Nigeria and other African country does not harm to people it was intended to serve.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I will go over to my colleague in the Republic of Ireland, Dublin to be precise, to give us his take on this disturbing story.
Yeah, Kule, thank you so much. It's a disturbing story, actually. It goes across all Africa in general. Because I think the way they see us as people without we are not organized. Africans are not organized, and so they can just do anything they like with us. That's what I see there. We Africans would have been able to produce our own vaccines, which I think if we had been able to make our own vaccines, Nigeria is capable of making vaccines. We have everything facility to do that. But sorry, any interruption there?
Not really. You can continue.
Okay, so we have the capability of making vaccines, Africa in general. If we have taken bold steps, like other Western countries did, even China, even India makes its own vaccine, capable of making its own vaccine. So if one African country has been able to, push up and bring out something that suits us, this wouldn't have happened. They would have acted on time. But they look at us as people who are, behind, and they have to satisfy their own populace, satisfy their own people first, and any leftover will be sent to us. Well, it's donated to us, so why should we complain? If we had bought it, fine. You can say we have a case, but this is a donation. And in Nigerian way, once they found something they can't use anymore, the leftover will be sent. It's not the first time. We see that in cocoa, where they dumped waste in cocoa port in Sapele part of Nigeria. So it's been a routine. So we have to learn from this, because things like this goes into our heart, into our mind, and we have to see how we can start correcting these anomalies before it happens again. Secondly, the leaders of Africa should actually look into this, see how, because we are in it together. COVID is still on today because some of the African countries are not vaccinated. Only 2% of Nigerians were vaccinated. So this is a global issue, and the World Health Organization have told the world that, look, they need equitable distribution of COVID vaccine so that we can fight this together.
Yeah.
if you ignore one side because you are rich and you think I want to satisfy my people, indefinitely you don't know that something will come in because it's an open air. People fly in here and there. So you see it's circulating because you have not satisfied the whole thing. So I think the world should look into it and see that it's a global thing. It's global. We have to deal with it globally. Send vaccines where it's supposed to go. Treat people. If you want to charge Africans to pay, let them pay. But send it to them. It can be like a loan. We sent you vaccines. Okay, you're owing us. Let there be an agreement so that we can fight this COVID together. That's what I say here.
Yeah, thank you, Jude. You know what? This has been a very disturbing story for me because we all know what the vaccine costs per dose. Especially the AstraZeneca. We know that it costs between $2 to $5 per dose. So it's like burning $2 to $5 million, which to me, is very painful. So I think, as you guys said, I think the government of Africa, and most especially Nigeria, because I have not heard of such information emanating from other parts of Africa. I just read it in the news. It's internationally. I read it on CTV, Calgary TV, on Guardian International. This is a odd story. And I must say that the government of Nigeria, must put in place, as you guys said, processes to ensure as they receive the vaccine, they disperse it, they dispatch it, and they give it to those that needs it. Thank you for the beautiful response there. Thank you. And if I may ask, because I know that one of the reasons why the vaccine were destroyed or couldn't be, disbursed to people, is because, of the probably, the vaccine hesitancy in Africa. But I don't want to go there for now. I want to ask you, Tony, please, what do you think is causing the low vaccination rates and the obvious hesitancy among Nigerians?
Thank you once again. From those who've been able to travel back to Nigeria and see things firsthand, the first thing is that many Nigerians do not believe, number one, in the existence of COVID-19. Two, even if when somebody dies over there, people don't, maybe lack of the system arrangement, nobody actually try to find out the cause of the death. And over there in Nigeria and some African countries, nature provided through the sun some vitamins that help to build the immunity of the system of the body. And most of these people, especially the middle class and the lower grade, they actually work every day under the sun. And they get these vitamins free without knowing about it. Again, most of them eat organic food in different proportions. This organic food, one way or the other, build very good immunity. So when COVID-19 first appeared, they were not feeling it because of this naturally provided immunity. And they cannot take it for granted that this disease is not for us. To the extent that if you travel over there like last 2 years and you put on a mask, they're going to be looking at you as if, what is wrong with this guy? They look at it as probably a foreign disease. It's not for us. And that kind of moved ahead to kind of energize them not to be so much in a hurry to receive vaccine. And it's like, why am I receiving this vaccine when this disease does not even occur or does not happen in our own environment. And those who are even willing to take this vaccine, they did not see a place to get it. Okay, ordinary testing, you're going to find some area charging them as high as 30,000. It's on location. Places like Lagos, Abuja, all those big cities, their charges may be lower because they have more availability. Now, Nigeria's minimum wage is about 30,000. I read in a newspaper it's about 30,000. We were thinking it's about 20,000. Now, you want a Nigerian to use all his monthly income to go and do a test, not to talk of even looking for a vaccine. So it is the belief system and non-availability of some of these things that actually some of them were now forced, in case they want to travel, to get results from any corner. And that brought us to the issue of fake testing.
Wow.
So it's like government need to energize them. Because when you travel, you discover in some of the gatherings, people don't even put their mask. And it appears this COVID-19 and its variants, we have a long way to go with it. So we will implore government to create more awareness. Government can do it because we know they did it during Ebola. During Ebola virus, Nigeria was so much great in stopping Ebola, more than the rest of African countries. We have the manpower, we have material to checkmate this COVID-19 and its variant. The government will want more action. The World Bank has actually given a loan to support the lab we have for the production of vaccine. So they should encourage masking. They should encourage people to take vaccine. Government should help to subsidize, because America here, vaccine is free. But we know they don't have the same facility like a Western country. But they will go a long way to encourage those who are willing to take this vaccine so that they can, through the churches, the mosque, and all popular gathering area, let them know that COVID-19 is real and the vaccine is very effective.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Anthony Eze. I want to remind our viewers that Mr. Eze is a health professional in the United States of America. So I would say he's an authority. He knows exactly what he's saying. Thank you for the wonderful advice to Nigerians. You know, I'm sure Nigerians appreciate you. Thank you. And to my colleague in Dublin, Republic of Ireland, what do you think is causing the low vaccination rate? And the obvious, because we all know that there is vaccine hesitancy going on in Nigeria. Please, what is your take?
Yeah. To be honest, from my own study, as far as Nigeria is concerned, it's not really hesitancy. It's what do I call it? Lack of awareness. Like Tony said, most Nigerians are not aware of the power behind COVID-19, of what the causes, or what it can, the effect of having that COVID in your body. They don't see, they have not seen actually people, most Nigerians have not seen people who have actually had COVID. And they believe that some of them are fake stories. Because the government did not come out to broadcast it the way it's supposed to be. Over here we have chief medical director of the country that comes out nearly every day, sometimes every Sunday. In fact, nearly in UK it's every day, where you come and feed people about what's going on, how many deaths, what is happening, what's going to happen next week, next month. They give figures, go and take vaccine. So This awareness has to be done in Nigeria. People have to be fed. There should be a chief medical officer of Nigeria that will be feeding people every day. That people know that at this time, this guy is coming to the TV to speak. Aided by one of the government official. It could be the vice president, it could be Senate president, or it could be the president himself standing beside him to let people know that this is serious. People don't know the seriousness of COVID, and they downplay it because, number one, they are not aware. Number two, most deaths in Nigeria is as a result of maybe typhoid fever or malaria. That's what they think. So when some of them have COVID, they go for paracetamol, or they go for agbo or whatever you call it, and traditional method.
Herbs. Yeah,
herbs. They don't understand what it is. I'll tell you the truth. 40% of Nigerians don't know really that COVID is real. And it is real. I have lost people. I have lost close friends, close brothers, in-laws, whom I know. I know that they died in COVID. So it is not that it's not real. It's real, but they need to be aware. Government have to push it out to let people know, yeah, this is happening. Let us see how we can help you. Okay, like Tony said, average minimum wage is too slow. But government should encourage by at least telling people the power behind the COVID and telling them how they can take precautionary measures. They have to know all this. Okay. Secondly, I spoke to my sister the other time. She was about to go there. One time she wanted to go there. The vaccine was finished. They said that she has to come back in 3 months' time because there was no availability of vaccine. And before you know it, we now had this news that the one they sent as donated to Africa, to Nigeria, is expired. Well,
actually, it expired in Nigeria, but then before it came, it had low shelf life. It was nearing expiration.
Yeah, because it has to go through some process before they start.
Yeah.
They have to make sure it is fine. They have to check, make sure they're not contaminated before they now say take it. And during that process, it got expired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what happened. So the thing is this. Because we Africans, we are downtrodden. We don't have the financial capability. Okay, and because of that, we should see how we can help ourselves by raising an awareness, by giving lockdown, by doing something that we can handle at the moment, while we still expect the government, the vaccine to come in one way or the other. So the fault is not really Nigerians. Sometimes we blame Nigerians. It's not Nigerians per se. Is the system that do not push them up, because even in UK, you will see where people don't want to take, and the government is pushing every day.
Yeah.
Every day, coming to the TV every day. You have to
encouraging them.
The prime minister go to the hospital, visit the people who have COVID, and let people see them that look, this is real. How many of these have happened in Nigeria? So we have to take, we have to look at how it's happening in the world and follow suit, because COVID is real, and nobody knows the end of it. So government should wake up and push these guys. Let Nigerians know what COVID does, how it is. Broadcast it in the TV. They have the money to do that in the national TV, wherever, posters, whatever, and we see how Nigeria will follow. So we don't have. For me, I would not blame the ordinary Nigerian, though they could have some blame on it, but I will not fully give them total blame regarding the slow action they are taking.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Let me just delve a little bit as well, and throw in my personal thought. I think that one of the things you see that has actually affected Nigerians and I would say people all over the world is the speed of creation of this vaccine, and the duration of testing, because we all know that traditional vaccine usually takes years to create and whatever. So I think that is one of the reasons. But for me, I have to put my trust in the health professional. And the health professionals have said the vaccines have been safely created, thorough testing was done, and it is safe for our consumption. So I would like to implore Nigerians, to listen to the medical expert and embrace the vaccine. Thank you.
Can I follow up on this?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Even in where I work, I've come across people putting up opinion of period of production. Many businesses we run, it's not the way we ran it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's done now. We are in a new technological age.
Yeah, the digital age.
Digital age. Take for example, around 50, 60 years ago, for you to travel from Nigeria to America, you might be 90 days in the sea.
Yes, some people
Yes.
took that. My grandfather, let me tell you this. My grandfather traveled to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. It took him over a year to get there and over a year to come back.
Okay,
so
beautiful. So that's where I'm going. Most of the things they are doing, they are no more doing it the way they used to do it 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So why do you query why vaccine with modern technology, digital age, why it should be produced at a shorter age, days? Things have changed, and we equally change with time. One more thing I want to emphasize on this vaccine is that some people, even when they get it, they're a little bit confused.
Yeah.
Vaccine, just like flu vaccine people take yearly, does not stop you from getting flu.
Yes.
It is something with COVID-19 vaccine. It does not stop you from getting COVID-19. But what it does is that you don't wind up in hospital or in the grave. It kind of reduce the virality of the infection. You will get the normal pain and all that, and at the end of the day, you'll be free. But when you don't have it, you get the worst severe symptom.
Wow.
Even some of our people, when they get the vaccine, they kind of let you know it's so painful, it this, is that. There are procedures you use to make sure that when you take this vaccine, you don't feel the side effects. Take, for example, if you want to take the vaccine, like if you're in Nigeria, take 2 tablets of Tylenol, they call it, what do they have there? Paracetamol. Take it between 30 to 60 minutes before the injection. Thereafter, you're going to be taking the same 2 tabs of Tylenol every 4 to 6 hours, PRN, for 24 hours.
That is a paracetamol.
Paracetamol. That will knock off one of the side effects, which is pain. Okay. Now, another side effect is swelling on the site. The first 24 hours of getting this injection, you're going to apply ice patch on top of the site. All you are doing is to reduce swelling. After 24 hours, you're going to apply warm massage on the site. Therefore, at the end of the day, you find out that you have defeated the 2 side effects, which is pain and swelling. Now, the next thing is that you must be exercising that hand that bear the site of injection. You need to immobilize it. You're exercising it.
Mobilize like this, yeah?
Mobilize, correct. Mobilize it, and then you make sure that you hydrate yourself. Drink a lot of water.
Water, okay.
Because most of the medication we take, whether antibiotics or that, you need to drink, you need to hydrate the system. If you do that, most of the side effects, surely you're going to kick it out. If you now have any severe symptom that is not among the ones I listed, you need to see a doctor.
Yeah, call your doctor.
Call your doctor. And don't say because you took a COVID vaccine that you're not going to get sick or you're not going to get COVID-19. You're going to get it. It's called breakthrough infection.
Okay.
So when you get breakthrough infection, don't panic, because it takes the body to use the vaccine a couple of weeks to beat back the immunity required.
Mm.
If we have opportunity, since we are having more variants, you need to take the second dose. If you have available, third dose. Like Israel is even taking the fourth dose now.
Fourth dose now. Yes,
Right.
I'm aware of that.
So any vaccine produced scientifically is not 100% sure that you will not get any infection, but the severity will be highly minimized.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Anthony Eze. Thank you for the medical advice. We really appreciate you on this program, and thank you for covering us. Because we don't want YouTube to take us down and say, where are these people getting all these information from? We know that we have a medical expert in the house. Thank you, Mr. Anthony Eze. Okay. Let me go on by going to Jude. Jude in Republic of Ireland. Jude, what do you think the federal government can do to improve the vaccination rate and to ensure that we have a trusted and watertight vaccination process, especially as it relates to COVID-19?
Yeah, this brings me to a point that I need to that worries me a lot, because I've got some Nigerians who thinks most of the vaccines in Nigeria, not only COVID vaccine, 19 vaccines, some other vaccines are not real. They are fake. I've got a sister and a friend that told me it is hard for them to go and take the vaccine because they are not sure they are real. They will take it if they are in Europe, but in Africa, in Nigeria, they will not attempt it because it could not be the vaccine that is there.
maybe it's water.
Maybe it's water. Maybe it's talk.
It's saline drop.
Yes, this is where, and there's another point that they tell people not to take it, and it's a highly concerning, and government should be aware of this. Nigerian government should be aware of this to see how they can go around and see if there's a fake vaccine going around, because it is very important that people go on this COVID-19 vaccine and make sure they get it. But this is this thing that puts some people aside. That some don't want to think about it. Mm-hmm. And those that have money want to fly down to Europe before they get it. Mm-hmm. And that delays it. That delays the
or go to Dubai.
They want to go to Dubai. So the point is this, that Nigerian government have to work on our country. It's time for us to leave all politics and come down to the real issue of stabilizing every aspect of the economy, including the health sector. The Nigerian government should work hard to make sure that things are in order. Because if government are not trusted, the people cannot move forward. Nothing can happen. So I challenge the government now to look into how people can come out of this slumber, not relying on the government. This is a new year. Remember we said, this new year, we hope that things get better. And if not get better, we're going to speak more. So we are giving them a challenge. It's the beginning of the year. Government should work hard on this aspect, because every Nigerian that dies concerns every one of us. Ironically, some Nigerians die, they don't have records of the deaths. You see, so we could have been saying that probably there's 1,000 COVID deaths, and people are telling you, no, there are more than that. That is not good enough. And that's the reason why I know that the West do not trust Africa when it comes to bringing out figures. So the point is this: how the government can help the people is by going verbal, using all the media to talk about this vaccine. Make it a daily affair on the national TV, NTA, Channel News, TV3 should talk about COVID. They should get money from the government. The money is there for advertisement. Let people know what to do. Okay, there's no vaccine at the moment, but what do they need to do? Those that can do something. There should be, things to help people who can, if they can't get the TV to watch, so there's no power to watch TV, they can say it over posters. They can display posters on the streets. People will see posters. So it's not going to say that somebody who is working on Surulere or Ikoyi will not see a poster posted. COVID kids, be careful. Wash your hand. this thing, cover your face. It's visible enough for everyone to see. These are the areas government should help people and encourage people as well. Those don't have money. If you don't know, you can't do it. If you know that you have problem, call this number. Let us know how we can help you. So many things government need to do. Awareness is very important. They should get somebody, a department at stake down, a department that will be handling this issue. Do it in a way that when the Western world see what we are doing, they will give us that confidence and to allow us in, not releasing us not to fly. But when they see what we are doing in Nigeria, they have a basis of all over the country. They will tell them, look, this is what is happening. People are aware. No, that will give us more boost, and we'll be things will open up again. These are things I think government should do.
Oh, thank you, Jude. To you, I'll go over to you, Mr. Haze. Yeah, the same question. What do you think the federal government can do to improve the vaccination rate and to ensure we have a trusted and watertight COVID-19 testing process? Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to mix it up with the general expectation of the federal government,
okay,
as it is done worldwide presently. Apart from the hygiene, mandatory washing of hands and all that,
yeah,
I will implore the government to have mandatory mask. People should put on their mask in churches, schools, everywhere there is public gathering. It will be mandatory that people must wear their mask unless somebody have a diagnosis that is contradictory to that. We should have mandatory vaccination. This is the way they do it over here. If you don't want to be vaccinated, there are places you will not be expected. Some jobs make it mandatory for their staff to be vaccinated or resign.
Or resign. Wow.
Yeah, because it is your right in America not to take vaccine, but it's not your right to affect others. Okay. Now, we equally encourage, because most of the time we put all the blame on at the footstep of the federal government. We will want the federal government to mandate the private insurance. They have a part to play, because if they can assist government with some free testing and then some of the vaccines, we have currently a lab that produces vaccine in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Which the World Health Organization gave them a couple of millions. I'm not so sure about the amount, but financially they have been energized. Now, the government should help, no matter what you will cost them, to be having mandatory autopsy.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody dies and they are aware, say like in a hospital, there should be mandatory autopsy, so that if this person died of COVID, it will save the lives of that family where it's coming from, so that the living will be taken care of. Because this is part of the problem we have, whereby as soon as people die, they will be buried or planned elaborate funeral ceremony without really knowing the cause of the death. And people will gather around to celebrate, maybe to pick more virus from the dead, or the one they have already collected before, the one transmitted before the person died. So it's very, very important. Now, in terms of COVID testing, they need to subsidize that, because the cost of testing is very high compared to the minimum wage. So people don't feel they have the money to attempt. And then if the government should assist, all the tests should be digitalized. They should be coded. This is one of the reasons why Britain red listed us previously, because they have some fake COVID tests And when they want to go, when they try to go into our data system to authenticate this result,
yeah,
they could not get into the system. And this kind of embarrassed and traumatized a lot of air travelers. Because if you are going to a country and they discover that you have a fake COVID test, it's like, number one, you committed a criminal offense.
hmm.
Then the person will be regarded as, will be quarantined until a test is taken. So this affects us worldwide. It's not just what you do in Nigeria or it affects Nigerians alone. If these are coded, our result will be acceptable because it will be immediately authenticated through the coded system.
Yeah.
They should make sure that all things being equal, there should be continuous communication to the masses that this thing is real, is yet to go, because we don't know we now have about extra 2 variants now.
Mhm. Delta and Omicron.
Yes, we don't know the one that will come up again. So the more you are vaccinated, the more equipped you are to withstand other variants.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, let me also chip in a bit because taking a cue from what I experienced in Canada, Calgary to be precise, in Alberta. You see, I realized that the vaccine is more readily available and accessible to everyone. And one of the ways they did this was through the vaccine trucks. You see big trucks, just parking in very densely populated area, and then you can just go in, produce your health card, and you take the vaccine there. You see, they have many vaccine trucks around the community, around the city that is giving COVID vaccines. And we also have, you see, vaccine locations very close. In fact, in the train stations, the bus stations, the train stations, you will see the vaccine locations there. Okay, where people, you might be coming from work or coming from an outing, you just produce your health card and you just get it. It's readily available. And then they can also, the federal government of Nigeria, you see, can also introduce, what we call vaccine incentives, to give incentives to people. I could remember in Alberta here, the Alberta government in Canada, okay, introduced a 1 million lottery, for everybody. You are automatically enrolled once you take the vaccine.
Yeah, Dr. Kule, let me come in there 1 second.
Yeah.
Not to cut you short. The observation we have is that the vaccine is not readily available in Nigeria. Not only in Nigeria, in Africa. And so in that case, there's no way the Nigerians can be able to distribute trucks or whatever.
But then what about the 1 million that was destroyed? The 1 million doses, they were there.
Yeah,
they were there. But I think,
the health system of Nigeria, when they send these vaccines into the country, it has to go to Nigerian health board. They have to check if they are in order, if they have to do some series of checks before they send it out to the public to use. Within this period, it got expired because the time they sent it was too short to perform all these tests. So I'm on the opinion, supporting what you said, that African leaders should speak out to the world that they don't have this vaccine. They should not sleep. I know the government, people in authority, they are all vaccinated, but they should speak up. They should make it a point of duty in whatever African Union or whatever union, ECOWAS, should let the world, let the British government know, let the American government, let the world, the Western world know that we don't have it. Because when you make noise, when they make noise, they can easily hear them.
Yeah.
Keeping mute when they don't have it does not solve the issue. And because they know that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So if they don't give us this vaccine in Africa, definitely it's going to come back to them. So Kule, over to you and continue what you're saying.
Yes. The reason why I said what I what I said earlier was because, you see, I belong to a social club in Nigeria, and I know that, you see, there was a time the vaccine was available, you see, at the club, but people were not taking it. Okay, the vaccines, they were there for people to take, but they were not taking it. Although in small number, you know, compared to the population, the vast population of Nigerians. But then we know that there is vaccine hesitancy. But I'm saying that, you know, if you have some form of incentives, okay, you say that, okay, if you come in and take whatever, you get free whatever, maybe free 10,000 naira,
Yeah.
free 5,000 naira, or whatever, just to encourage our people to come and get vaccinated. And we also know that there was a time the vaccine was actually short, you see, and then people were now, it's like the people you know, you see, the nepotism. See, we have to get rid of that. You see, our government, you know, they have to make sure that, you know, our government in Africa, in Nigeria, they have to make sure that they get rid of the nepotism, you see, that might surround the dissemination of COVID vaccine. And they have to embark. This is my own opinion, because I'm very passionate about this, especially when it comes to the enlightenment campaign. You see, focusing on the benefit of vaccine and enhancing the trust of the people, you see, and dissuading all the negativity surrounding vaccine, especially this COVID vaccine. You see, in line with what Tony said. Because, Tony, you know what you said about how people can actually mitigate, you see, the effect of the vaccine when they take the injection. Do you know that many people use it as excuse not to take it? That, oh, I took it, and this is what happened to me. The misinformation. In fact, there was this singer. I'm trying to remember her name, who said that her cousin took it and got impotent. You know, which was so funny. And I could see CNN, you know, Fox News. I mean, don't let me say Fox, BBC and all the Sky News. They were all onto the story. And I could remember CNN actually said that they would like to speak to the lady, a musician, a very popular musician in the US. You know, so I would like to say that, you see, the government can actually, you know, do more, you know, by embarking on enlightenment campaign, you know, vigorous one, you know, to ensure that, you know, our people are well informed and we can get rid of all this misinformation and negativity surrounding the COVID-19 vaccine disbursement.
Yes, you nailed it. You see, in as much as we don't want to compare Nigeria with the Western world, because here situation is redressing itself. Take for example, the students are resuming probably next Monday. There is a notice already that if you are not tested, don't come back to school.
Wow.
Yes, there are restaurants and bars. You cannot go there, one, if you are not masked.
So that is in the United States.
Exactly. So this thing is so easy. Not that we are faring well in the United States, to be frank, because as at now, we are just above 60, I think 61, going to 62% vaccinated for a country that produces enough vaccine to go around. But people are hesitant to take it for one reason or the other, which is not the subject of our discussion here. But if we borrow a leaf a little bit, there are mandatory things you do. Because most of the population we have in Nigeria are in schools, primary school, secondary school, universities. If you make it mandatory that when the school resumed, if they have available vaccine, whoever is not vaccinated should not come back. You have a right to refuse it worldwide, but don't go and affect others who equally have a right to be alive. If government can look at all those areas where people, usually go for their regular activities, make it mandatory. At least if you don't wear mask, don't come. You will see them, they will wear masks by force.
Mm, mm,
We
mm.
remember in the old days of Tunde Idiagbo, he forced us to be standing on the line and we accepted. So the same thing, government can do a lot to make these issues, to redress the hesitant, to redress whatever disbelief, because they can do it. We have seen them do it. They are capable of doing it. We are not kind of telling them something impossible. We have watched the government. They have done it. And
Yeah,
it's only the commitment. Let the masses want a little pressure before they can actualize a lot of things. But if you keep
like we
on,
had during today, there ago,
thank you,
war
ma'am.
against indiscipline.
Exactly, war against indiscipline. That's the kind of language Africans normally hear well. But by the time, number one, he who there's always this popular saying, there is this rat that smells a lot. If you want a child to go and catch that kind of smelling rat, you must provide enough water to wash the hand. The same thing, if you want to make it mandatory that people should take vaccine, you have to have enough to go around. If you want
Yeah,
them to wear mask, please provide where they can always, so that people will say, I cannot afford to buy mask. Make it even in churches, donate to churches.
make it readily available.
Exactly. So if you go to church and you have a mask available for you to wear and you refuse to wear, then we know that you are not interested. So
Wow.
provide the material, the support, and then use a kind of mandatory measures. They will comply.
Yeah, and you know that here, to buttress your point, you know that here testing is free.
Yes.
You know, also, you see, the test kit, that is private testing, at home testing, is free. I have it at home. You see, we have been giving free, so we can do the test.
Vaccine here, vaccine
Yeah,
here is free. Yeah.
It's free, so we can do the test here. The vaccine, everything is free. So I'm just imploring. I know that the economy might not be doing well, but we should try our best as much as possible, the government, to save lives, you know, to ensure that our people are safe.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, that is it from at-home testing.
I have a couple of them in my house here.
Wow.
Yes.
We really take it all the time, test ourselves and see.
Yes, testing ourselves. I have it as well. It's stored somewhere. I don't know where my wife kept it. So it's there.
The good thing about it is that this is free anyway.
Yeah, it's free.
I didn't buy it. You just pick it up on the anywhere you go, and the government is playing there for you to use.
Yeah.
Encourage people. This is how to encourage the populace to go on and fight this COVID. We should have,
yes. Let's fight COVID together.
Supporting you as well, like Tony said about the schools. Over here, you can't enter the bus without having your mask on. You can't enter the public bus without wearing a mask. The driver will not take you in. Yeah, you can't go to a restaurant to eat without having your mask. And when you come in, you have to fill in your name and your number for tracing.
Right.
They should adopt in Nigeria and make it compulsory, like you said.
Yes, I'm sure that our voice will be heard. Our voice will be. Let's share this program on Facebook. Let's share it on Instagram, because we need it to get to the high places, to get to the Nigerian government, especially the Minister of Health and the State Minister of Health, you know, to ensure that, you know, they take appropriate steps, you know, to protect Nigerians. And then let us say this, because it is not doom and gloom, because I know that the State Minister of Health in Nigeria organized, you know, a symposium and had a virtual meeting with healthcare professionals, you see, Nigerians abroad in diaspora in Nigeria, to just talk about how they can mitigate the effect of COVID-19. So we are not saying the federal government, we are not saying they are not trying. Of course they are. We are just saying that please, we need more help from you to ensure that Nigerians are vaccinated and they are well protected. We are nearing the end of today's program, but I would like to ask one more question. It just came to mind, actually. And I know that Tony and Jude, you guys have touched on it slightly. But I just want to see, I want to know your thought on this, whether you have more to say regarding this. And that is, what impact does fake COVID-19 result tests, what impact does it have on our standing and integrity around the world? I will go to Tony.
Okay. Yes. I've experienced it first time, especially at the airport. Somebody came from Nigeria. We were in the same plane. Unknown to us, he had a fake COVID
Result.
test. Yes, and in Nigeria, they were unable to detect it. They accepted it as authentic. Only for him to arrive in US, they discover it's fake. It became a big problem for this guy. He kept on claiming that he got it from government, and they confirmed that there's no code, there's nothing to authenticate this. So it's a big problem to air travelers, because few people travel by sea now. But even by sea, it will bring in, especially in the United States, fake COVID tests. You are putting yourself in a deep problem, because instead of, although they will take care of you, but for coming with fake, it's a kind of case that if we are dishonest, if we are even somebody having green card, for that kind of dishonesty, because they don't care how you got the result, you could be deported.
Wow.
So, and then popularly in the Western world, they know most of the fraud from Nigeria we call 419. The more we have fake things coming presumably from the government, we are just more or less confirming their assumption that everything from Nigeria is fraudulent. Yeah, because over here you see even a high court judge that when they bring cases against Nigerian 419, some of the judge will be screaming, "We've told you to stop sending money to Nigeria." So like the 419 angle have been very, very popular. And that's why if you are from Nigeria and you don't have self-employment sometime, those of them who are biased about Nigerian activities will always be watching you. Sometimes you go to some airports, if they are searching other nationals, probably for 5 minutes, if you are not very careful, your own can
search for 2 hours.
30 minutes to 1 hour, because they want to turn you upside down. To check your skin, whether you pump something in there. So we should try as much as possible in our dealing to be upright, so that we can clear some of this misconception. The only thing that is helping Nigeria, especially in the United States, is that out of all tribes, including the whites, Nigerians are the most highly educated. So sometimes if you want to harass any Nigeria because 419, we put them where they belong. But at the same time, he who want to go to equity must have clean hands.
Yes, must come with clean hands.
Let's clean ourselves up. Fake COVID tests or fake vaccine should be a punishable offense in Nigeria. If people knowingly, fully, that government has alternative, and you just pick any COVID test because of the pricing, because we are told, when I read some of the newspapers, some tests, not to talk of a vaccine, can be as high as 30,000 in certain locations.
Wow.
Whereas this fake test that even the person who had the result does not know the location of the lab, no sample was taken from them, can be as cheap as 3,000, 5,000. If you were in their position, will you go and pay 40,000 or 30,000 to get a test rather than getting 5,000? But the summary is that getting a cheap one and endangering every person, not only in Nigeria, but worldwide, is unacceptable.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tony, for that wonderful submission. We appreciate you on this panel and for giving us, the medical angle to this COVID-19 vaccine discussion. Thank you, Tony. And to my friend in Republic of Ireland, Dublin, please, can you also talk about the impact of the COVID-19 vaccine, result, the testing result on our standing and integrity around the world?
Tony actually give us a more break it down fully, but it's similar to what Tony said. Most of us in the West, in Ireland, in UK, sometimes it's hard for us to get a job because of the name associated with our name test. When you send your CV and your name is Nwaokolo, your name is Eze, you are from Nigeria, and it's like you have got 50, you have 30% off the pass mark. No one will reply you. Before you go to the interview, you already failed. Why? Because of the image that has been damaged. Nigerian image has been reduced to nothing. So, and like Tony told us, in America they are more Nigerians are more educated. If we all get educated and we don't have a job because the image of the country, what's the benefit? So they have to look at us here. They are damaging us. They fly in here for something or other and go back. But what about our children? What about us who are into business? We can't get a loan. We can't buy that. Our children are bearing our name, even though they are born here. They speak like them. But the name attached to the name before they go to the interview, it's a minus. So the image of the country is being reduced when you keep on faking things. And out of 10 fakes, 8 of them are Nigerians. So it's not good for us. To be honest, they should think about this. Know that they are damaging us here. And look at us here. We are here trying to help the country, make sure they are okay. And at the end of the day, we are being affected. So they should consider that Nigeria is our home. And if it's good for us, it's good for them.
Yeah, thank you.
We have to keep the image of the country by not doing all these fake things.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful submission. We have now come to the end of today's program. I would like to thank Anthony Eze for joining us today on this beautiful Sunday. Thank you for coming. And to you, Jude Nwaokolo from Dublin, Ireland, thank you for coming. But I will give you an opportunity to make your social media statements around this COVID-19 pandemic. But let me start by giving my social media submission. You see, on this sensitive issue of COVID-19 pandemic and the destruction of 1 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine in Nigeria because of the shelf life. Yeah, I would like to say this to the federal government of Nigeria to please ensure that they resuscitate the COVID-19 vaccine delivery process to ensure that they make it readily available and accessible to our people in Nigeria. And also to block the loopholes, that are causing Nigerians to present, or to travel with fake COVID-19 testing results. We know the impact this will have on us. It will create more hardship for Nigerians traveling abroad because they will be subjected to more scrutiny. Also, Also, this can lead to the distrust in our process because it can spill over to other sectors. It can cause this foreign government to start doubting the validity of some of our other data, like the economic data that we present to them. They might start saying, oh, if we start getting fake testing results from Nigeria, are we sure the economic data, the health data, that are coming, that they rely on, when they are making decisions about the country. And this can also affect the tourism that is happening in Nigeria. And we know that Nigeria, we make money from tourism. And Nigerian government, I implore you to please ensure that you make our process, the COVID-19 process, be watertight to ensure that Nigerians do not travel with fake results. Thank you. To you, Anthony Eze, your social media declaration, please.
Yes, thank you so much. First and foremost, I want to thank the federal government and all the parastatals that have tried at least to get 2% of Nigerian vaccinated. It may not be the step what we have expected, but that means your mind is focused on what is needful. Presently, we know that we have a facility called Global Access Facility. They call it COVAX Initiative. They will need your financial and other aspect of support, because if we have indigenous production of vaccine, definitely it will be more available. It will go around, and then people are not going to have excuse to take this vaccine because of money.
Yeah.
And we'll continue the advocacy of the vaccine, and then clearing the belief that COVID-19 is real, and that the earlier we work hard on it, the earlier we defend ourselves, the better for the future. Because if we allow it to roll out the way it's going, more variants are coming. We are not sure when it will stop, but let us get prepared and defeat it the way we defeated Ebola. We did it. We give kudos to you, and we want us to continue. Nigeria is the only home we have. No matter how you enjoy any part of the world, home is sweet home. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony Eze. To you, Jude, your social media declaration.
Yeah, COVID is real. There's no doubt about it. And to my brothers in Nigeria, COVID is real. I've lost loved ones, those that are dear to me, and we should fight it. Even though the government, you people are suffering, whatever, you are finding yourself in difficulty, whatever you can do to fight it. Like we said, having your face cover, social distancing, manage yourself, stop too much partying, don't go to much crowded places. These are the ways you can fight it. Locally, you can fight it on your own. Just have it on your brain that COVID is real. And to the government, 2% is not good enough. It's not good enough. We know Nigeria, we know we are in economic crisis, but 2% is not good enough. If you say 20%, we can say, okay, please try. 2% is nothing. Please. This year, let us make it minimum of 70%. I hope they are hearing us here. Make it 70%, so that the world will see that you are trying, and whenever they want to take any action, they put you aside, not just carrying the pen or whatever they do, and release you because they lost confidence. That's all we are saying here. Please help the Nigerians, people in authority, do whatever you can. Please do it. This is a new year, new beginning. We have to live. Everyone have to live. And the only way we can live is to fight this COVID-19 together. But we all have to take part. Everyone. Thank you so much. for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Anthony Eze from the United States, Jude Unwa Okolo from Republic of Ireland, and my humble self, Dr. Olakunle Lemboye from Canada. We have come to the end of today's program. Thank you, the beautiful audience, for joining us on the first episode of the Diaspora Global Panel in 2022. We appreciate you. Please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for joining us today.